Today I'm working on a meal that you can make at any hour if you're getting home late from working or just from hanging out with your buddies. I am making my ice cream lattes right now. Well, I'm getting started on the coffee portion of that. Now, if you have been up late, I would suggest making this with some decaf. Me, it's a thing. Since I was a little girl, I can drink regular old coffee. No kidding. Even when I was a kid, I used to put it on my cereal before my milk. I know, sounds kind of gross. But anyway, I can drink caffeinated coffee and still sleep like a baby. But you might want to go with the decaf here. Gonna get some water down over the grounds here. You know, you could even put a little bit of cinnamon into the grounds and make all of the coffee taste like cinnamon. That would be delicious. Okay, I'm gonna let that work a minute. Now, I'm making not one, but two terrific go-to meals for the middle of the night, or they're good any time of day. I call this one bread gnocchi. I've got the bread in there with a combination of butter, 2-3 tablespoons of that, and several tablespoons of EVOO, 2 or 3 of that too. You want to keep the bread kind of nice and moist, so cook it over low heat. You don't want it to turn into croutons on you. This is my go-to instead of pasta. Instead of dealing with a big, heavy pot of water late at night, I go ahead and just toast up some stale bread in a pan. And I got lots of garlic in there, which I can smell. It smells fabulous in here. And then I did a neat thing for the texture of this nice tomato basil sauce we're going to make to wrap around this bread. I started with 3 plum tomatoes that I coarsely chopped, dropped them in, let them heat through and start to break down. Now I'm stirring in a couple of cans of tomato sauce, about 2 cups. I'm going to give that a toss so that that heats through. Now, once you add the sauce is cold, of course, so you can turn up your heat a little bit there. Now all we have to do is wilt in some basil and top it with cheese, and it will be delicious. Now, while this is heating through, you got to turn it all around so that the sauce gets evenly distributed through the bread. And that bread just soaks it up. Oh man, how good does that look? Back here, don't forget, I've also got my veggies nice and tender now, the peppers and onions. That's waiting for the eggs. I'm just going to grab my basil and my cheese to finish off my bread gnocchi first. I've got some nice fresh mozzarella cheese here. But you can use any cheese you have on hand. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let me get the eggs in, because those veggies look like they've really taken their turn there. They're starting to caramelize. I want to slow up that cooking process and get the eggs going. Now, I took out a box of frozen peas, and I'm just adding a couple of handfuls. The sweet peas are going to go really good with the store-bought pesto sauce I'm going to use in these eggs. That's the big finish for the eggs. And I seasoned these guys up, of course, a little salt and pepper when I beat them up over the break. And you want to allow 2 big eggs for each portion. I'm making 4 portions here, so I got 8 eggs in there. And let it go nice and gentle. Don't turn the heat up too high. You want those eggs to scramble up nice and gently. Now, back over to our gnocchi. I see bubbles all around the edges here. The tomato sauce is hot through. So I'm going to go ahead and rip in some nice fresh basil. Now, again, if you don't have fresh basil on hand, you can use a couple of spoonfuls of store-bought pesto in this dish as well, and it'll have the same kind of flavor satisfaction for you. It'll taste like basil, and that's the important part. My grandpa always tore his basil leaves. He never chopped them. He said that would bruise them. But by all means, you can do a cute little chiffonade out of these too if you like smaller pieces of basil. I like nice, big, beautiful leaves going all through mine. As I said, it's a really rustic, easy dish to learn how to make. It's a great go-to when you're just totally exhausted too, whether you're getting home super late at night or not, you know. There's lots of days where you're just too beat to deal. Now at this point, once you put the basil in, you want to drop the heat back down again, nice and low. Now we're going to melt some fresh mozzarella cheese down over the top of it. I'm going to use a bread knife to cut this. I find it really works well for me. Now, if you don't have the fresh mozzarella on hand, let me give you several ideas. You can use a couple of handfuls of grated or shredded up provolone cheese if you have that. You can just use a couple of handfuls of some nice Parmigiano Reggiano or Romano, whatever cheese you normally sprinkle on top of pasta. I've got this beautiful ball of nice fresh mozzarella that you can get right in the regular grocery store. And I usually have mozzarella or smoked mozzarella just on hand for snacking. And it's great down over the top of this. Now at this point, you could pop this under the broiler, or you can do what I'm going to do here. You just put a little piece of foil, a little tin foil tent over the pot, and the cheese will melt from the heat being trapped in the pan. Super easy, super delicious. How good does that look? It's so pretty. It's a shame to cover it up. One more piece of cheese in the middle there. There we go. Now we'll just let that work a few more minutes, and the cheese will melt down over our bread gnocchi and get all delicious. And our eggs are starting to come along here. I got to take another quick break. I'm just going to get stirring this up. And I'm going to grab some ice cream out of the freezer so we can take the chill off that too for our lattes. Don't miss them.